Alright guys, so we finally have a cold calling agent for our business. That took me quite a long time to build actually, which I thought was going to be a pretty easy thing to build because I do have experience with n8n and building agents, but it actually turned out to be quite a learning experience for me. And to make the system really robust and really perform well in the real world, calling real people and actually, function well, not mess up. That's what I kind of wanted in this agent, right? Because I'm gonna leave it on its own. It's gonna manage a bunch of contacts, set up its own calling campaigns, call them, and just store the data of whatever happened on the call in a database. So I wanted to do all of that by itself. I don't need it to supervise it or anything like that. So building it presented a bunch of challenges. The biggest of which was making sure it's robust. It doesn't call a contact 2 or 3 times. In the case a call fails or something happens, it has to be robust. It has to know what it's doing, and so it took quite a while. So I'm going to be showing you the whole process. I'm going to be showing you a demo of it as well, just calling 3 or 4 contacts just to show how it works, and I'm going to walk you through the whole build and the whole structure of it in n8n. So let's have a look at that. So I'll first walk you through the whole setup, how I set it up, what the different components look like, and what makes it kind of really robust and really bulletproof kind of in its working. And then we will do a demo with this message. We will call 3 contacts just as a demo, and we will see in real time, how it handles those in its workflow. So let's start with first the walkthrough of how it looks. So this is how it looks. Of course, we are kind of using Telegram for the interface, so I still want to kind of have it on my phone. Every morning I get the leads in my sheet and I just copy them, paste it in my Telegram, and tell it to start a campaign on this. So that's what I find easier. Otherwise, the possibilities to integrate this into other interfaces are unlimited. You can integrate it anywhere you want, but that's what works for me. So of course, these are your basic kind of AI agent setup. We are using OpenAI model, typical Windows buffer memory, and here we have a Google Sheets read tool where it can kind of read the sheet. That is kind of really crucial for this working. And this sheet is this. I will show you right now. And this spreadsheet, it's what it uses to kind of manage its campaigns and make sure that each contact is only contacted once. The information is always updated correctly to the correct row, correct location. And I will show you how it kind of manages that, and it's very robust right now the way I built it. And I will also show you how I built it before, just for a reference. So this was our master caller before, from the videos I did a couple of weeks ago, and it can adapt its personality to call different kind of, set up different campaigns. But in terms of cold calling as a expert cold caller personality, it wasn't set up for that. So you can see this agent, how it's different from the current one is it has access to these sub agents. So this is an agent, this is a workflow tool, and what I find that using this agent kind of makes things more complex, and the data sometimes gets lost within the data flow, and it doesn't seem to always update and get the data from the correct location. So what we did was we took away the unnecessary AI layers, the unnecessary kind of layering of one agent on top of another, and we just used AI agents wherever it's necessary, which is only in one place. So that was kind of the key thing we learned building this, because if you use too many agents together, they are gonna make mistake, and one agent, the chances of mistake is 1%. Then 2 agents, the chances of mistake kind of goes up to like 5-10%, and it just is a landslide from there. So this system right now works very smoothly. So the only AI agent this has is right here, and we are using AI nodes in other components, but I'm going to show you how. So this one we don't need anymore because this is a separate tool. So it only has these 3 tools right now, and this one Google Sheet read tool. So I will show you the prompt of how it is set up. So this is kind of the prompt of this agent. So we are specifically making it for a cold caller for our company, which is Autolinks, and then we are giving it what tasks it will perform on each run. So each time it will get either one contact or a list of contacts to start a cold calling campaign, and then it will go with these steps. So it will parse those contacts, it will validate if all the information is there, everything looks correct. If not, it will get back to the user to provide and correct the information. Then it will go through all these steps, which we will see, and I will show you in real time how it looks like in all of our workflows. And yeah, then we have kind of defined it very well with also some schemas we have given it. And so this is how our master prompt looks like. It's very detailed. And now I'm going to show you how the whole workflow kind of connects. So as I said, it has access to this sheet, which is where we manage all our contacts, all our campaigns, and it has access to these tools. So we took away the AI agent layer. These are all workflows now with some AI inference inside of them, but there is no agenting component. And I will tell you why we did that and why it's so much beneficial to do it this way instead of putting AI agent everywhere. So our first tool is this batch contact processor. So whenever you tell it to start a cold calling campaign on 3 contacts or 4 contacts, its job is to first put all those contacts and kind of make a JSON out of them, separate each contact's information in one kind of part of the JSON, and then send that whole thing to this batch contact processor. Now this batch contact processor is just this simple workflow. There is no AI in this, and this is kind of the most this is what makes it robust. So if we inserted AI in there and told the agent to actually take those contacts, insert it in the Google Sheet, it will make mistakes and it would not do that task robustly. So a simple workflow is the best you can do with these. So it gets contacts like this. So it got 3 contacts right here in a JSON, and then I will show you what happens. Then this code node, if we execute it right now, it just kind of separates them. And then we have a Google Sheet append node, which takes them one by one and inserts them into this Google Sheet. So I'm going to execute that right now as well. There you go. It's going through each one. So there is no agent component. Agent doesn't have to pick one contact, append it into the Google Sheet, and then go back. That's where the mistakes can happen. So we are taking away that layer totally. So it's 100% sure it will work. And the 3 contacts we have in the output, let's check out in the Google Sheet what we got. And there you go. So it's inserted all these 3 contacts right here. And the status is new, so that will be very necessary with the rest of our workflow. So now once this happens, then our agent knows that once it gets the response from our batch contact processor that it has inserted the contacts within our sheet, then it has to trigger this voice call processor. So this voice call processor looks like this, and again, it's just a workflow. There is no AI agent inside of it. There are AI inferences within some of these nodes to get information, but there is no agent inside of it, and that is very crucial because the hype right now is just insert agents everywhere, and it actually affects the process negatively if you don't know what you're doing. So we learned it by a lot of hit and trial, by a lot of times building and changing our approach to build this tool, but I will show you how it works. So once we get the message that okay, the contacts have been inserted into Google Sheet, the master agent will then trigger this. So the voice call processor is triggered from right here, and it gets its data, which will be just the campaign ID. The campaign ID will be unique for each campaign, as you can see right here. This is my bad, this is the campaign ID. So it will be unique for each calling campaign. And once it gets that, our voice call processor tool will go to the Google Sheet node, it will read it, and it's gonna filter the Google Sheet based on that campaign ID. So it just gets the contacts for that campaign ID. And then what happens is we have this code node here. What this does is it sorts all those contacts in the processing order. So you see we are giving it this processing order 1, 2, 3, and this is being given by the master agent. So it's been inputted in its prompt to give this order. And the way we use it is I will show you, and it's very important actually. So we have another column here called row ID. So now suppose if we want to find a column later, we need a unique kind of element about that column, right? So for that we have created this row ID, which is the campaign ID, and you append or you add the processing order after it. So it's just the campaign ID -1, campaign ID -2, campaign ID -3. So each contact has their own unique identity as well, and they also share a common campaign ID. So this is this will come in play later on during the workflow, but this is just a simple kind of concatenate operation happening within the code node to kind of put these two together. And I forgot to show you, it's happening right here as well within the tool, the batch contact processor. So this code node also adds that that separate row ID as well, apart from getting the data from the master call agent. And after that we'll get back to our voice caller processor. So what happens then, so we were at this code node which sorts all the contacts to processing order. Then we loop over each one. So we use this loop over items node, and this first of all goes to our Google Sheet. It updates that one contact that it's working with. So now this is where the robustness comes from. So at each time it's only working with one single contact. It doesn't have to think about handling other contacts later. It's not an agent, so it cannot make mistakes, it cannot hallucinate. So that's where using a loop over AI agent is very actually a very good choice. You would think using AI everywhere is the better choice, but it's not, because it's prone to mistakes. Loops and if-while loops and your normal coded loops, they never go wrong unless you set them up wrong, but they will be right 100% of the times. So that's what makes it robust. So it will then loop over each contact. It will append, it will change the status like you see here to calling. So we have the status here. It will change it from new to calling. It will also add the processing lock. So it will lock kind of that contact. So it's just a reference that it's being currently processed. And after that we go to this edit node. It's just a edit kind of fields node. We just mapping certain content of our input so that we can feed it to the tool that will be used to make phone calls. So what we need for phone call is just the name of person who we are calling, then their phone number and the business name. And this then calls this tool that we have built to make voice calls. This tool I previously showed as well in the last video of the adaptive AI caller, but I will kind of quickly show it again. So this tool is of course using Vapi API in the backend. So once it gets hits with all those 3 inputs, the name, the business name right here, the name, the phone number and the business name, then how it works is here we are hitting an API request to Vapi, which is creating an AI agent. So each time we are getting hit with a specific person's name, a specific business, specific phone number, we are going to create a separate agent. So this is kind of the prompt we have already set up for our agent, and I've very carefully kind of crafted it to behave in a certain way and be good at cold calling and good at sales. And we have just kind of included some variables in there which get replaced for each particular client that we are calling. So for example, here we insert their name. So the agent knows who it's calling. The agent knows the business name. And another thing I'm going to do is give it some context. So we have a Google search tool as well with the master agent. So we will then implement a loop, not a loop, but a workflow within our current setup, where it will kind of research on Google about each business and it gives some little context here as well, right? That's entirely possible as well. But for now, I'm going to show you with this. So it created an agent based on those parameters. The next one will be to make a phone call. So we hit another API call to Vapi. And again, we use these things: phone number, the name, and then the assistant ID we created in the previous node. So these all variables get replaced from the previous nodes, and the call is executed once we hit the API. After that, we have a loop here. So this is just a get request to the Vapi API with the JSON ID of the assistant. So we're just checking if the call is still going on or it's been completed. How we are checking that is we have a if node here. We are seeing if the transcript exists. That means the call is completed. If it doesn't, wait for 1 minute or so, hit the API again, check if the transcript exists, and keep doing it until it exists. Once it exists, this is crucial. Here we are actually deleting that assistant that we created. So it's just a transient assistant. We're just creating one assistant for each phone call. We delete it after. So, and once we delete it, we go ahead this way. We go to OpenAI inference. This is not an agent. We are just telling this agent to kind of format our transcript in a much more kind of a better way, so that it's nice to look at and all that. And then we are sending that as a response. It will go, of course, to the master agent, or it will go wherever this workflow is connected. And this workflow is connected in our voice call processor right here. So once the call has been completed, it gets it's running that loop, every single contact, it's completing that call. Then we have a wait kind of a node here, and this we learned by kind of testing it. If you send too many requests to Google's API, they also have rate limit set up, and they kind of try to restrict you, and you'll get an error. So we are in this Google Sheet node, uploading that transcript of that call within the Excel sheet. So like that. So you can see the transcript right in that same row with the contact, what happened during the call. And over here is, I will show you a crucial part of what I was talking before. So in this node, how it knows that it has to upload into that same Google Sheet and that same row is we are using the row ID now. So that's why we made a unique kind of element for each of the contact. So we can then use that to reference and tell this node, okay, so you have to find that specific node ID and update the transcript there. Because if you don't do it, if you just let it off or delegate it to agent, okay, call this to and update the transcript, right? A lot of times it wouldn't know how to filter it. So this way is really robust. It's really bulletproof. It will always update the transcript in the correct row. And once that finishes, then of course we go back to the start of the loop and we go through all the contacts. Once that's done, we send the response back to our master agent, which then sends the response back to the Telegram to the user that their calling campaign has been completed. So that's kind of the whole workflow of what I have built, and it's working very robustly. And the most kind of biggest lesson to take away was we should always only use AI agent or AI where it's necessary. Do not use it, do not abuse it and start to put it everywhere, because that leads to bad outcome. It might work a couple of times, but in the real world, when you have to send it out without any supervision, you want these systems to be robust, and this is super robust in our testing we found. So now we will show you a little bit of demo of it working. Alright guys, so we're just gonna send this agent a message through Telegram to call these 3 contacts, start a campaign, and we're gonna see how it works. All three numbers lead to my phone. These are numbers for text app as well, so they all would come in through this phone if it runs correctly. So let's find out. Here we trigger it. Now what should be happening is, let's open the sheet. So we should see a new campaign ID created, and all three contacts should be added here right now, just like that. And as you see, it changed the status to calling, so we should be getting a phone call anytime now. And there you go. Hello.
Hi, this is Morgan Freebot. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How can I help you, Morgan?
Glad to hear that, Paresh. I'm calling from Autolinks AI to show you how our AI can revolutionize your business communications at Peaks Printing.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't have time for that currently. I'm really busy in other things, and we just don't have time for that right now. Sorry.
Of course you're busy, Paresh. That's exactly why you need an AI assistant who works 24/7, like me, but customized for your business. Imagine freeing up your time to focus on what really matters while we handle the rest. Doesn't that sound like a game changer?
Sure, but I'm really taken up with a lot of tasks, and we really don't have any budget or anything for this.
I get it, Paresh. Budgets are tight, and time is even tighter. But here's the thing. Investing in an AI assistant now can save you both time and money in the long run. Imagine having more hours in your day and
All right, I will call you later.
Actually, Paresh, let's make it even easier. How about I send you a link to schedule a quick chat at your convenience? That way you can pick a time that works best for you. Sound good?
Sure. Let's do that.
Give me a moment. Great. I'll send you a link to schedule a chat at your convenience. Keep an eye on your messages. Looking forward to our conversation, Paresh.
All right, take care, Morgan. Bye-bye.
You too, Paresh. Talk soon.
So guys, that was our conversation. I cut it off a lot of times, but it was still robust. It handled it well, I think. It can be a lot more better, but if you don't see it here, I'll put it on the screen. It sent me this link to book an appointment with it, and it also sent me some message that is, of course, formatted by me, but it's a pretty good way to do these cold calls. If someone says they don't have time, just don't waste their time, and that's how I'd kind of designed it to handle it. So now it should be running through that wait loop and checking if the transcript is there, as we saw. So in our voice call tool, now it should be running through this loop, checking if the transcript arrives. Once it does, it will exit it and it will append it to our Google Sheet right here. And right now it's running through right here. So let's check our Google Sheet. You should see it updated right here if it works as it's supposed to. Now there's going to be a little bit of wait, as I mentioned, because of the rate limits, but there you go. So the status is changed to done. The transcript has been updated, and I'm getting the second call now. So you can see the status on screen is calling, and I'm getting a call, and I'm gonna just keep it short. Hello?
Hi, this is Morgan Freebot. How are you doing today?
I don't have time for this, man. Bye bye. All right, so we're just gonna see now if it's making the calls and how it's handling, if it's sending the transcript, updating the data. I'm not gonna waste your time taking each and every phone call, but yeah. So we're gonna probably speed up this part a little bit, and let's see if we get the transcript. And there you go, guys. We got the transcript right here for second call. Now it's calling the third number. At least that's what it's saying. And we got the call as well. Hi there.
Hi, this is Morgan Freebot. How are you doing today?
I'm alright. How can I help you? I'm in a hurry. Alright, let's just hang up on it. And let's see if we get the third transcript. And that will be our calling campaign complete. And hope it doesn't give an error. So we're gonna wait for it. Because of the wait node we put, we have to wait a little bit to update the transcript, so we don't hit the rate limit of Google's API. So probably just gonna fast forward here. Alright guys, so that's been updated as well. You can see all three are done. The transcripts are right there. See, I'm in a hurry, and it just hung up. So, but it worked robustly. It didn't mess anything up. It didn't double call any contact, which is super important. You don't want to annoy people. So that was it. That was a demo. That was a walkthrough of the whole agent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start cold calling campaigns with this to actual clients, and I will probably make a video about it, how that's going, and probably modify this assistant based on the transcripts I'm getting. I'm also probably going to integrate a system where I can download the audio file of the call. But yeah, that will be in the future improvements for this. But anyway, if you liked what you saw here, if you got any value out of it, feel free to like the video. And if you want to work with me, want something like this built for your own business, feel free to click a consultation below. The link is in the description. And thank you for watching.